This is William Hatfield, Director of Marketing for SurvTech Solutions Surveying and Mapping, and I'm here with the Vice President and one of the principals of SurvTech Solutions, Mr. Stacy Brown. Thanks for being here, Stacy.
Well, you're welcome, Dwight.
Now, I want to start with how you became involved in the surveying profession. Kind of walk me through that.
Well, it actually all started back in November of 1997. I had recently graduated college about a year earlier, had kind of gone into a whole different aspect. I graduated college with an engineering degree and kind of had been painting houses to put myself through college and stuff during the summers. And,
no kidding.
And so I ended up, after college, I went back down to Massachusetts where I was painting houses and kind of started a side business as far as painting with one of my other friends.
Wow. And
I did that for almost a year, a little less, and then I just kind of, I don't know if I woke up, but just decided that that wasn't for me. So I ended up going back to my parents' house back in Maine, and that's when I got the call a few months later from David, and he at the time was working at another surveying company down here in Florida. And he had asked me to come down and to work for him. So I said, you know, I'm not doing anything else at the time, so I figured I'd come on down and give it a try. And to be honest with you, at that time, I wasn't planning on staying down here very long. But I came down here, got into the surveying, enjoyed it, because at the time I was going out in the field, and I really loved it at the time. And then really I ended up meeting my wife down here, and the rest is history, I guess, so to speak.
Wow. Wow, that's really interesting. And it seems like you've always kind of had a businessman's mentality kind of in your blood. You know, you just tell me about the painting business and then...
Well, I think so. Because with me, not that I can't work for someone else. I mean, because I did, when I came down here, you know, I worked for David and his current business partner at the time. But I always kind of knew in the back of my mind that at some point, you know, I'd want to have my own business and be on. I guess not so much on my own as David is my partner, but just kind of more or less calling the shots, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you, has having an engineering degree been a help in surveying, and also, does it give you a better insight into the client's mind, like when you're working with engineers or people in the engineering field?
Oh, I think so. I think definitely with the background of engineering, with the math and science, that's a big plus for surveying, because obviously surveying has a lot of math involved in it with trig and whatnot. As far as dealing with the engineers, I think it definitely gives it an advantage for that as well. From day to day, we're dealing with engineering plans for a construction layout or what have you, and we're reviewing their plans. So, you know, I think with my background, we're more apt to catch maybe errors in the engineering plans. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, everybody makes errors. So, you know, if the surveyor can catch it before it's laid out, then all the better. So, I would definitely think that'd be a plus for, with my engineering background.
Yeah, and that's probably a rarity. You know, like you just said, being able to catch something like that can really save, you know, one of the clients a lot of money.
Yeah, it definitely can. I mean, because depending on what it is, whether it be you know, a building, finished floor elevation of a building, or maybe a drainage structure just sitting too low, you know, it definitely, if it gets laid out correctly and then built correctly, then it definitely, you know, would save a lot of time and effort on the project as a whole.
Stacy, being able to understand our clients has always been a strong suit of SurvTech Solutions. What do you think are some of the other strong points of SurvTech Solutions?
Well, I think one strong point for sure would be just the motivated, educated staff that we have. We have a lot of college graduates here who are motivated. Really came in with no experience at all to our company, and we've kind of brought them up through the ranks and kind of, I guess, mold them into what you know, we think they should be as far as a surveyor. And Another strongest point for SurvTech is the technology we use. We're always looking for new technology and helping us in our profession, and that goes hand in hand with the college graduates we have, because as technology advances, you need these young, educated individuals who can learn the technology and who can use it, because the technology is obviously nothing without the users.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it seems that all of those things you just mentioned and more are great as standalones. And like you said, all those things combined, that's what makes us the premier surveying and mapping firm in the state of Florida. Now, one of the things you just mentioned being the people of SurvTech Solutions, and they're all college graduates, what advice would you give to someone thinking about a career in the surveying profession?
I would definitely say that as far as going into the surveying profession, you would definitely have to like the elements, especially here in Florida, where it's real hot. You have the snakes and the insects to deal with, and also as far as coming into the office and dealing with the clients and lawyers and real estate agents. Communication skills is a must as far as being a licensed surveyor. So you can communicate with the client and the other individuals that you have to deal with from day to day on the projects. Other than that, again, like I had mentioned earlier, the technology is a must. I feel with today, if you're not up to speed with the technology, then you'll end up getting left behind.
Yeah, so really you kind of have to be a multifaceted personality to succeed in this industry. A lot of people could probably be involved in it because, maybe they know how to use the equipment or they know the technical aspects of surveying, but as far as like what you just said, you have to be a people person and you have to be a business person. You have to be all these things combined to be great, so.
Yeah, I definitely think you have to be an all-around individual. Again, and that's what we look for here at SurvTech, is just that, an individual who's willing to go to the field, to get their feet dirty, wet, or whatever, but also can later in their career come into the office and learn the drafting and the other ins and outs of the surveying profession.
Well, that's great advice, Stacy. Let me ask you another question. What do you think the future holds for SurvTech Solutions?
Well, I think, as I had mentioned earlier, with a lot of the young college graduates that we obviously have high hopes of them being licensed one day, in which case, we would have to have branch offices for each of these licensed surveyors if they choose to stay with us and run one day. And so in doing so, we're staying strong with our marketing, trying to get our name out there to everyone we can. And we see as our goal to open up the offices here in Florida. We're not sure. We're looking hopefully maybe all the metropolitan areas here in Florida, and then with goals of branching out into the southeast United States as well.
Yeah, because we already, with the GSA contract, and we're already licensed in so many states in the southeast that it would only be a natural progression to eventually work into those markets.
Yeah, that was pretty much the plan from day one, as far as just getting the multi-licenses, and in our we're looking maybe 10, 15 years down the road possibly, or not sooner, as far as having those offices in the other states.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the really cool things here at SurvTech, and you and I have talked about it, and you and I and David have talked about it, and it's more of a statement than a quote, and it's that the purpose of a great leader is to create more great leaders. Do you think that's a very big part of SurvTech?
Yeah, absolutely. I think and this is really more so what I would believe or feel, I guess. I mean, as an employee, if I wasn't pushed or given more responsibility as an individual, or my with growth was kind of capped out, I guess. Mm-hmm. Then really, to me, I wouldn't feel like that company was for me, you know. So we tried to obviously continue to grow the business so that our employees can grow along with us.
Absolutely. And we're with you 100%. Well, Stacy, I want to really thank you for taking the time to speak with me here today. And, you know,
Absolutely.
we're behind SurvTech 100%, and I'm sure that the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I totally think that's the case. So I appreciate it, Dwight.
Very good. Thanks, Stacy.
Yep.